Welcome to OptinexTech. In this tutorial, we'll be creating a dynamic and fully customizable pagination component in React. In this video, we'll walk through building a professional-looking pagination system that can handle any number of pages, with next, previous, and direct page navigation, all wrapped in a sleek and responsive design. Let's dive in and bring your React applications to the next level with a clean, functional pagination component. We have already created React project. In that, inside components folder create new folder named pagination which contains two files index.jsx for component logic and pagination.css for custom styling. Moving to index.jsx, first import the external CSS file for styling the pagination component. We're setting up the core props for our component total pages, current page, and on-page change. Here, total pages represents the number of pages, current page is the currently selected page, and on-page change will be called whenever the page changes. We also define empty page numbers array. To keep the pagination clean, we'll only display a few page numbers around the current page. We calculate the maximum number of pages to display, which is set to 5, and adjust the range of pages accordingly. We're calculating the starting and ending page numbers based on the current page. We need to ensure that the pagination works properly, even when the current page is near the beginning or the end. We'll adjust the start and end pages accordingly. These conditions handle edge cases when the current page is either too close to the start or too close to the end of the total pages, so the visible pages don't exceed the bounds. Now that we have the start and end page numbers, let's generate the page numbers dynamically within that range. Here, we loop from the start page to the end page, pushing each page number into an array to display it later. In return statement, we return a div with class name pagination container which is the main container. Inside div, let's start by rendering the previous button which has class name pagination button. The prev button is disabled when the current page equals 1, and it calls on page change to navigate to the previous page when clicked. Next, we'll ensure that the first page is always accessible. If the starting page is greater than 1, we display the first page, and if necessary, add ellipses. If the visible page range doesn't start at page 1, we'll show a button for page 1, followed by ellipses to indicate skip pages. Next, we render the page number buttons dynamically from the page numbers array. We also highlight the active page. For each page number, we render a button, adding an active class to the current page. When clicked, the page changes to the selected number. We follow a similar approach for the end page. If the end page in the visible range isn't the total number of pages, we show the end page and add ellipses where necessary. If the current range doesn't end with the end page, we'll display an ellipsis and a button for the end page. Finally, we render the next button which has class name pagination button. Similar to the prev button, the next button is disabled when you are on the last page, and clicking it navigates to the next page. Finally, we export the pagination component as default to use in other parts of application. Let's write CSS classes. First, we define the container for the pagination buttons. We use flexbox to center the buttons horizontally and vertically within the container, adding some margin at the top and bottom for spacing. Next, we style the pagination buttons. For the prev and next buttons, we're giving them a blue background, white text, some padding for better clickability, rounded corners for a modern look, and are responsive to hover interactions with a smooth transition effect. When the prev or next buttons are disabled, such as when you are on the first or last page, we style them with a gray background and change the cursor to not allowed to indicate they can't be clicked. For the individual page numbers, we use a white background with a blue border and text color. We also add some margin and padding with rounded corners with subtle transition effect when hovered over. We apply a different style to the active page number, using a blue background with white text to highlight which page is currently selected. We also add a hover effect to the page numbers. When a user hovers over any page number that isn't active, it changes to a blue background with white text, matching the active button. The dots are spaced properly and given a muted color so it doesn't distract from the clickable page numbers. With these styles, we've created a clean, responsive, and professional pagination component in React. First, we import the useState hook from React and the pagination component that we previously created. Now, inside our app component, we define the current page using the useState hook. We initialize it with a value of 1, indicating the default starting page. We also set a total number of pages to 8 as an example. Next, we create a function handle page change, which will be passed to the pagination component to update the current page whenever a user clicks a page number, next, or prev button. In app class, first, we display a heading for the page. The p tag dynamically displays the current page, updating whenever the user switches pages. Now, we integrate the pagination component. We pass in 3 props, total pages to tell the component how many total pages there are, current page to track the current page, and on-page change to handle the page switching logic. Welcome to this quick demo. On this page, you'll see a simple heading that says Dynamic Pagination in React. Below that, we have a paragraph displaying the current page number. Right now, it's showing page 1. The pagination controls are displayed just below the content, allowing users to navigate between pages. You can see the prev button on the left and next on the right, with the current page highlighted in blue. The other page numbers remain clickable, with a clean hover effect that turns them blue as well. As I click on page 2, the content updates to reflect displaying page 2 content here and the active page number changes. I can also navigate using the prev and next buttons, moving back and forth between pages. The pagination component is fully responsive, ensuring smooth transitions across different screen sizes. This dynamic pagination allows users to move through content with ease, while maintaining a modern, professional design. That's the demo for our pagination component, and that's a wrap. We now have fully customizable and dynamic pagination component which can be used in any React project. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Stay tuned for upcoming videos.